Hello everybody. If you are new on the channel, welcome on the French Wrecking Crew. My name is Jerome and I'm your host for tonight. I hope you will not regret to watch this video because it will be the first time that I talk about my own theory about the Zodiac Killer. But before that, I would like to wish an happy birthday to my good friend Tony from the Full Play channel, alias Dr. Selman. Happy birthday, my friend. I can sing if you want. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Tony. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Tony. Happy birthday to you. Yeah, you will see on this channel, it's never like another channel. It's weird, but that's me. So, welcome and thank you to subscribe. You have subscribed recently to my channel. I see, wow, 300 new people. Wow, thank you. Thank you. It touched me a lot, touched my heart. So, I would like to give a big shout out to Mr. Ned DeHaan from BBOR, Black Box Online Radio, coming to you from West Virginia, and Mr. Drew Bison from the Zodcast, Drew Tube, and Sharon Young. There's three people and made me add reference my channel on their channel, and they are really, really good on what they did. Uh, about Ned, his channel, this is my favorite podcast. Really, my favorite podcast with Drew. I encourage you to subscribe. It's not already done. And for Drew, it's the same. DrewTube, the Zodcast. You will see. You will not regret it. Talk about a lot of things. Davy Cooper, the Zodiac Killer, the Yuba 5, a lot of things. Like Ned on his channel is talk about a lot of things. Really interesting. Also, Zodiac, Jack the Ripper, etc., etc. Gabiovich murder. A lot of things. The Santa Rosa Hitchhiker. Really great channel. Really. And another great channel too is the channel of Ross, Planet X Film Media. I recommend you to subscribe to this channel. It's a good friend of mine, and this is a really good channel too. So I will try to start to explain my view. Hey, Drew! Hi, how are you doing? Red Feather? Hi, welcome. Welcome on the channel. Drew, if you want to participate on the chat, I can send you a link. Just tell me, and I'll send you the link for joining me to talk about and debate if you want. So just tell me in the chat if you want. And I want to start to explain to you my own theory about the zodiac, because there is a lot of zodiac theories right there, and some are good, really good, like Mr. Drew Bison, and I recommend you to read his book, Sighting In on the Zodiac Killer. Really, really, really good book. Yeah, and it touched with one of my suspects, Don Cheney. And yeah, for Ned, You have also a novel, Killer on a White Horse, but you have also um, um, Dawn in the Dawn in the Dark Lane. But you can find it on YouTube for free on audio. So it's up to you to buy the book or listen on YouTube. So I will start like this. I'm on this case since 2001. I watched uh, a show talking about the Zodiac, but you need to know that I live in Belgium, Europe. I don't live in America. So I have a different perspective. I have a different look about the situation when we speak about serial killer and other things. Um, so I start to be interested by this subject. So I buy the book of Robert Graysmith. Not this one, because this one was in English and I was not speaking English at the time, but about this one in French. Really, really big. And after I read all the books, Zodiac and Mask and other stuff on Robert Graysmith, and I start to do my research by my own on internet. And I need to admit that I start with the website of Mr. Tom. That's for you, Drew. Tom Voigt, yeah, sure. For that is it was great to have new information. It was the beginning of the internet, and there was a lot of information and already a lot of suspect. But the number one suspect on this case from Graysmith, from the police of San Francisco, Napa, Vallejo, was Arthur Allen. So, okay, but I need to dig in more in this kind of stuff because I'm somebody who is really interested by true crime story. I don't know why it's like this. Really interested by this kind of stuff, and I want to solve this kind of stuff not to find a killer, but for the family of the victim. I think it's really important. I really think it's really important to do the right thing, if you will. So I start my own research, and quickly I have understand that all the resource that Graysmith had on his book was coming from Don Lee Cheney. So who is Don Lee Cheney? So I made my research, and it was not easy. I need to admit it was not easy at all. It was a great relief for me when I read the book of Drew, because he was pointing the finger on Don Cheney, and that was great for me because it was the first person who was talking about him as a Zodiac suspect, and I agree with Drew, but not entirely, not completely. I agree he was part of, but not by himself. and I will try to explain you today why. Okay, here we go. We need to go back in time in 1968, 1969. Okay, it's a period of time of 1 year, only 1 year. For a serial killer, it's strange. And if you don't believe that the first crime, David Faraday and Betty Lou Jensen, was committed by the Zodiac, we have a time of 6 months, 6 months time to create this persona, the Zodiac. So for me, Cherry Joe Bates was not at all killed by the Zodiac Killer or anybody around him. For me, it's a complete different story. We deserve a complete video for Cherry Joe because it's something you cannot relate it directly with the Zodiac. Yeah, in his letter, he's talking about his good time in Riverside, but what it means, what it doesn't mean, we don't know. And researchers have made the connection with Cherry Joe Bates killer, but I don't buy it. And I don't buy either the people like Tom Colbert. This guy is a joke because you have scars and well, not scars, but stuff on your front. You're a suspect. And what the, what the fuck? What you are talking about? Yeah, but this is what it is. Each year there is a new Zodiac suspect, and today I will not talk to you about a new suspect. I will talk to you about people you know, but who was never considered as suspect. So, first attack from the Zodiac Killer, December 20, 1968. David Faraday and Betty Lou Jensen. There is two possibilities because I not tell that I have the truth. This is just my own theory by my gut instincts, if you will. Uh, there is two possibilities. If you know well the case, there is a possibility that David and Betty Lou was killed by the Hells Angels. Why? Because this night there were uh, a bust of drug, marijuana, 2 pounds of marijuana. Today it's nothing, but in 1968 was a lot. And that's possible because when we read the files and you think about the first date of Betty Lou, it was her first date with David, and David was a straight guy. Uh, he was supposed to come back at home for 11 o'clock. Tell me if I'm wrong on the chat. Tell me if I'm wrong, but I'm sure it was for 11 p.m. And they were killed 1 hour later. So for me, it's always strange the fact that this guy, oh, David, was with Betty Lou on this place, this so-called lover lane, but I don't think it was a lover lane because I see the place, not by myself, but on video. Drew have made some video when he was there. And for me, it's not all over lanes. Why? Because you are close from the road and you have cars coming from the two ways. So you are not quiet in this kind of place. But I can be wrong. So I don't know what they were doing there, but this is not clear for now. I know that David have had a fight before in the day or a day before or the day I don't remember, but with a guy about marijuana. Who the guy was selling marijuana on the campus or on the college. I don't know the difference in America. And he had started a fight with him. So it's possible that this drug deal was related of the crime. And there is the reason why there is no letter on 6 months. Hello, Patty. Welcome on the French Working Crew. It's really thank you, thank you very much. Uh, where was? Yeah, but there is another way to see this stuff. For me, the perpetrators, I'm will calling the perpetrators because I will not say the Zodiac. Oh, I can say the Zodiacs, but I will say the perpetrators had commit this crime to taste the water. You know, commit a crime and not be caught, to see if it was possible to do that. And indeed, it was. And it's a possibility. It's a possibility for what happens after. But I don't really know if it's what related with the Hells Angels or if it was this perpetrator. Okay? Oh yeah, I'm doing well, Patty. Thank you. How are you doing? Are you doing well? Darkside! Hey! Hello! Nice to see you. Thank you for coming here to join me tonight with my explanation about my own theory about the Zodiac. Yeah, thank you. Thank you to be there. And thank you to be here tonight. So, things 6 months later, not far away from the first crime, there is another crime. Darlene Ferrin and Mike Maggio. Everybody, I think, have seen the movie of David Fincher, The Zodiac. Okay? And people who are interested have read The Zodiac, the book. This one. Okay? Uh, it was never proved that Darlene had picked up Mike somewhere. Maybe Mike was there on the parking where they were killed for Darlene and wounded for him. He was maybe already there. We don't know that. Because when you think about that, buying firecrackers and eating, but she was not angry. And the testimony of Mike Maggio doesn't fit. It changed maybe 5 times, I think. Tell me if I'm wrong, but so I don't think we can trust Mike Maggio, Magoo. I don't know how you want to. I hope I don't misspell the name, but we don't really know what happened that night. We know what is in the police report, but we don't know. Okay. Wait, you will see. I'm talking about the murder, and after I will to talk about my theory. After we have the crime of Lake Berryessa, Cecilia Shepard and Brian Hartnell. Cecilia Shepard sadly died today after in the hospital, and hopefully Brian Hartnell survived. And his testimony is strange because he's talking about this guy wearing mask, the cross, and talking to him. And it was the same case. He has no money on him, like Darren and Mike. They have no money. So when Mike tell them he want to go with Darlene to buy firecrackers, they have no money. I don't know how you can buy that if you have no money, but and for Bernard Nell it's the same. So the guy came out and he asked for the car key and his wallet, and he started to talk with the victim. And Brian Hartnell, after say then his hand was shaking because he was nervous. Oh, it comes from a medical issue. We will see that later. Okay, so we have already three scene, three crime scene. So it's already horrible. No, just 14 days later in San Francisco, we have the murder of Paul Stein, a cab driver. And after that, I think there was no killing anymore. The Kathleen Jones incident, I don't buy it. I really don't buy it. Because she was 8 months pregnant, and how she described the situation, I don't buy it. Not at all. And she changed a lot of times version of the story. So no, for me it was something else. So there is no crime anymore. But there is leather since the second murder. Oh, this letter. What say this letter? This letter talk about nothing. Even in the cipher, there is nothing. I like killing people because it's so much fun. Well, whoa. No, there is nothing. In the letter, I am the perpetrator of I'm the murderer of the two teenager last Christmas, and blah 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 blah. Nothing original. And in plus, when the press asked him to give him some new details to prove who he was, the guy responds and give them some new information. So I was, what the fuck? What is it? This crazy killer. If it was me, and I'm not a killer, be sure I'm not. You want, if I receive this kind of stuff, give me some new proof to prove that you are the killer. I killed somebody. I sent his hand to the newspaper on the San Francisco Chronicle, and I asked them, "Is it enough for you as an example of my involvement in this murder?" You see what I mean? No. They means they are in control, or he is in control. If we are talking about one singular people, person, I mean. But I don't think it's the case. Why? Because to doing that, you need to think about that for a while. And what comes into my mind when I read the first time the book of Robert Graysmith, and after doing my research, and all the detail come from Don Cheney, Santo Sandy Panzarella, and Ron Allen. So I was wondering if it was possible that it was an history of revenge, a brother against his brother. Remember in the ABC murder of Agatha Christie, Belgium? Yeah, she comes from here. Remember, I will not spoil you, but the killer killed his own brother, right? And there is different way to kill somebody, not physically, but you see what I mean? Figuratively. Yeah. For what? I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe Ron Allen was angry against his friend, his brother, since ever, because he was weird, he was too much close from the kids, and he don't like that. But kidding? No. So I don't know the real reason behind that. I can say, so I will not say something to be nice, or I don't know. But I'm sure, and you can see it in his name was actually Alan on YouTube. The bonus of the movie of the adventure is the fact that Don, Cheney, Sandy Panzarella, and Ron Allen was living together in 1962 and 63. And revenge, it's a motive. Yeah. Because remember, you need to go back in time. It's 1968. 1969. A lot of things happened. Robert Kennedy was killed, the moon landing, so the Apollo stab on uh, the Manson family, the so-called Manson family, because I disagree when people say Charles Manson was a serial killer. No, he wasn't. No way, he wasn't. And the book of Bugliosi was a joke too. Helter Skelter is for the garbage. But I disagree. I disagree with him, and I digress that. But there is a lot of thing going on this year on the West Coast. There were there is the program MK Ultra. There is a lot of things, a lot. When you study the history of America, when you are not an American like me. I live in Belgium, I come from Belgium, I live in Europe, so I try to understand. And I think they have created this plot. So I'm talking about Ron Allen, Sandy Panzarella, and Don Cheney. I think they've created this plot against Lee. All the circumstantial evidence against him for the police, for the press, for the police, but not something real you can confirm that it's him. And that's what happened. So let me explain my theory. For me, Don Cheney was a friend of Arthur Allen, where Ron was his brother, and Santo Panzarella didn't like him, but he knew him. So to have access to close information about Lee, you have his brother and Ron and Don. Ron and Don. Okay? So we can have access to a lot of information about him. And when you have the letter of the Zodiac, it doesn't tell a lot of things. It just taking apart from something and something else, the Mikado, the you see what I mean? It's something really weird because if I was a serial killer, I will be really more. If, I don't know how to say that. My English is not perfect. Uh, I will be more straight, you know, more blood, more violence, more stuff like that. But it doesn't happen. So for me, the second crime was related with my people. When I say my people, I'm talking about my suspects. So my suspects had they need to have somebody who lives or works close from Arthur Allen because it's easy. It's easier to explain the fact after. So Darlene, who was working at the Terry's restaurant at the time, or the Penthouse of Pancakes, I don't remember. Um, she was well known by everybody. Everybody knows who she was. And so actually Alan also, and I'm sure that Ron or Don knew that. So it's an excellent victim to point the finger on actually Alan after. But you will see. So I think the perpetrator of the crime of Darlene Ferrin and Mike Maggiu was maybe, no, certainly Don Cheney, and maybe, maybe not. I don't know who had pulled the trigger, but maybe Ron Allen, maybe Santo Panzarella. I'm not sure. I can say that. I was not there. So, but for Don Cheney, I agree with Drew. This guy was highly intelligent, as Sandy Panzarella, and I will explain you why. So after we have the crime of the Lake Berryessa, the Berryessa attack. The guy was not so sure of him. He was checking. He was talking. And the witness this day have seen a guy who they describe, he was nice. He was nice looking. And you see the picture of Santa Panzarella in 1969. He was really nice looking. He was a nice man, a really beautiful guy. So it's possible. Yeah, yeah, I agree. Chennai is involved. There is no way. Yeah, he is involved. It's sure. It's really sure. So we are at Lake Berryessa. And I think because we know the Zodiac, oh, the so called Zodiac, read the press. So I know, and I know he was reading the press. Oh, they were reading the press. Though, so they was aware of the Gaviota killing, who looks like perfectly like the Herman Road attack. I'm talking about Robert Domingo and uh, I have a hole in my head. Drew, help me. Robert Domingo and um, sorry, Robert Domingos and oh shit, Linda Edwards. Linda Edwards. Sorry. I think the Lake Berryessa was a copycat of this crime. We was never solved by my perpetrator. So the idea of the costume to portray the Zodiac was to not kill these people. That's why I think it was Panzarella, because Cheney was somebody who is ready to kill. and maybe not Panzarella. So yes, and it was a different MO. On the first killing, it was with a gun, and there on Lake Berryessa, if it's with a knife. They were stabbed with a knife. Brian Hartnell was stabbed 5 or 6 times on the back, and uh, he survived. And Cecilia Shepard was stabbed 10 times, but not stabbed deadly. It was not a real stab. Yeah, it was a real stab, but there is no. I don't see anger under that. I see somebody was. You don't know what to do. That's my opinion. Okay, so now we have the killing of Paul Stein. Wow, what a change of MO, modus operandi. There is young people in Lover's Lane or on the, on, on a lake, but there is always young people. And now a cab driver. For what reason? To have Mr. David Toski on the case. Why? Because on this time, in 1969, 1970, 1971, and years after and years before, Toski was a big star. And remember, the Zodiac asked to Melvin Belli. He was a big star too. I think it's a question of revenge and fame. They want fame. They want to create the American Jack the Ripper and give enough details to the police to point the finger on someone, Lee Allen, but never be able to really credit him for the murder. Like this, we are chasing a ghost forever. And that's what we do. We are chasing a ghost. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. And I'm going to tell you why I think Panzarella is involved in this case. Because Drew is right. Drew Bison is right when he's telling me, no way, Jerome. He has too much to lose. Exactly, Drew. That's, that's what you think, and that's what was thinking the police at the time. Because it's Sandy Panzarella who contacts the police, and especially Armstrong, because they were Toski and Armstrong on the case, working together. Panzarella calling Armstrong for a story of his friend Don Cheney have tell him why? Because he's a guy who's really successful. He has a lot of money. So there is no way this is then this is a suspect. And he was never a suspect. And something else. If Cheney was calling by himself, could be weird for the police that one civilian citizen uh, called the police to talk about all this strange story about Lee talking about killing people, name himself the Zodiac. But if you had someone behind you, like Sandy Panzarella, you are under that. You are not, you can be a suspect for the police. You can be. Oh, maybe a little bit. George Bauer was intrigued by Don Cheney, but not by Panzarella that I know. But I think Panzarella has something to do with that, with Don Cheney and Ron Allen working together to point the finger on Lee, but thinking that there was no way there was that Lee was arrested one day because it was all circumstantial evidence against him, not real evidence. So, yeah, Saint Paul. Yeah, who comes from the dragon card. You know the dragon card? Make your research. We have on this dragon card, we have Don Quixote, Don Quixote, and Sancho Panza. Okay, Don Quixote is on a drag on, and Sancho Panza is on a a don a key. Don't give you the key. Dragon down the key. Well, I don't know. Remember that something Drew pointing out on this case that is the fact that Don Cheney and Paul Henry knew each other. There was at the Bakersfield Junior High School, I think. Do tell me if I'm wrong, but they was together at this school together when they were playing the Mikado. Yeah. So for me, there is a lot of thing who tells me that it was a plot against somebody, a revenge, and create a persona, create a ghost. We we, the people, we will scratch our head because there is no way to figuring out who was involved, who was the Zodiac Killer. I think there was never the Zodiac Killer. I think there was the work of three people against one guy. And if you see things like me, it could be possible. I think I have say a lot of things about that. I think I missed some details that I've prepared before, but for me, the Zodiac Killer was Donald Lee Cheney, Santos Lee Panzarella, and Ron Allen. But I don't know who had pulled the trigger. certainly Don Cheney, as Drew is sure about that. And me too, because when you see his background, he was a pipe engineer. So there's really possible that with all this stuff, and you know, there is the story of the comic books and all this stuff, and when you know well, as a friend of Lee testified in the documentary, his name was Arthur Lee Allen. Arthur Lee Allen was in the child's world. He liked the child's world. Maybe he was reading some comics, and Ron, his brother, knew that, so he mentioned it. And all the story that Ponzarella and Cheney said to Armstrong in 1971 fit with everything I've said. So it will not be the first time that a brother. We have Ted Kaczynski. He was caught because his brother in the romance, the ABC murder, to be excluded from the suspect. The killer killed his own brother. But there is two ways of killing somebody, physically and figuratively, if you see what I mean. So why not? Because after the killing of Paul Stein, there is no murder anymore. So I don't think the Zodiac Killer was a guy completely mad, ready to create a mass murder. No, no. If he was ready to create mass murder, he was really bad because we never heard about him after that. Yeah, he claimed, maybe he was claiming 37 victims or 100 victims. Or where are the proof of that? I can say I've killed 100 people. Yeah, I can say that, but where's the proof? And why I will say that? For the fame? No way. For the fame? If you create a persona, yeah, but not for yourself. Do you think that Jeffrey Dahmer or Ted Bundy or whatever was agree with what they did? There wasn't. Maybe no real regrets because they were really crazy, but they had nothing against a real mass murder. I'm sure it's not the case with the Zodiac Killer. So it was my explanation for my own theory about the Zodiac Killer, and finally about Kathleen Jones. I don't buy it. No way. For Cherry Joe Bates, I don't buy it. No, no way. For the Gaviota kill, no way. I don't think. I don't say I'm right. I never say I'm right. Just another view, another perspective from a European guy who lives in Belgium and who see that since more than 20 years and see the way in a different way than an American can see this case. So it was my own theory about Zodiac Killer. But if you have any question, go ahead. And if you have not, it's great. Drew, if you want to come on, join me to the party to give your opinion because I'm agree to debate about everything. I'm not like Tom who refused to talk to anyone. I'm I'm open to say, oh yeah, I was wrong. Okay, there is no problem. I was wrong. I'm okay with that. But why not? If I'm right, I'm right. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I try to show you a different perspective. That's all I do. So if you don't have any question, I think we will end the show for tonight. And it was a real pleasure to see you again because it was a difficult year for me. I've lost my mother. I've lost some friends, Jason, Matthew, Milbury, you know. So it was really a sad time for me, and it's not easy to talk about non-pleasant subject like this, but because it's not pleasant to talk about this kind of subject, I prefer to talk about good stuff, you know, food, music, yeah. But talking about murder, yeah. But that's what I do, so I don't complain. But if you don't have any more or any question or reflection or something to say, I'm going to tell you goodbye. See you soon. Take care of you. And next time, I hope we are going to continue to talk with Tony. With I wish him again happy birthday. We continue about the GFK case because there is a video on my channel here. You can see with him, Tony, talking about GFK, the assassination of GFK, and we have just scratch the surface. So there is again and a lot of things to say, but very shortly, JFK was killed by the right wing, okay, and by the government, the CIA, the ONI of his level of intelligence, CIA, and the mob. But firstly, by the right wing. Yeah, it's my opinion. And Lee Oswald has never been in this plot. He was working for, he was an asset for the CIA. He was working for the ONI, the Office Naval of Intelligence. He was an informant for the FBI. Yeah, but he has nothing to do with the murder of JFK. No way. I know my subject, and I can prove that he was not on the sixth floor at the time of the shooting. But the Warren Commission and even the FBI some days ago on Twitter, on X, but Twitter, like this, every no knows. I sent a message to the FBI and the CIA to say that, say, just say, I know that Lee was, or an I, he was an asset for the CIA and an informant for the FBI, and he has nothing to do with the killing, the assassination of the president. My message was deleted. Why? I don't know. Remember, I have been blocked by the CIA for 3 months because I was calling them to ask him some question. Yeah, at Langley. Yeah, because in Belgium here, after 5 p.m., if you want to call in the world, it's free. It's it's good. So I can call the America for free. Can call the FBI, the White House that I have already done. I can call the CIA. Can call anyone for free. So that's what I do. And I don't know why they, they have deleted my message because there was no big surprise. I think people who are working on this case for a while knew that Oswald was working for the ONI, was an asset for the CIA, and an informant for the FBI, and he has nothing to do with the killing of the president. But who knows? Maybe Twitter who, well, X, who delete my message for whatever reason. I don't know. But I hope to see you soon. I hope to have your ID in the comment section. I hope you have your own theory, your own stuff. We can talk about, even if you don't have a channel, it doesn't matter. You can come here and we talk about any subject you want. Any. Even a subject that I'm not aware of. Because this channel is for everyone. It's not based on one subject. You know, I have already received musician, photographer, uh, people talking about true crime for sure, talking about Innocence Project, talking about uh, paint, movies. So there is not just one thing. It's not the French Wrecking Crew. It was called like this because at the time, Eric Cozy, Richard McAdam, who passed away in 2020, a good friend of mine, had asked me to relate the information about um, making a murderer, the Stephen Avery case and Brendan Dassey case. Then, so I've called that the French Wrecking Crew. Wrecking Crew, the Wrecking Crew. It's a John Serax book. Can show you, but believe me, John Serac and write a book, The Wrecking Crew. So I've called my channel The French Wrecking Crew because I was thinking to talk in French because my first language is French. It's not English. But with the time, I've talked with people and people and people, and they were only talking English, not French. So I've kept the name, but I'm talking in English. But I have received people talking French, and I've speaking French with them, like Mr. Jacques Mercier. It was a really good show, and it's obvious then you will not understand because it's in French. But Mr. Jacques Mercier is a big star here in Belgium. He is on the TV since ever. I've known him all my life. So it was a great time for me to receive him on my little channel. He was a great guy. He is a great guy, writing books, making made made TV show, and I received him to interview him on my little channel. Wow, it was huge for me. But it's also huge when I receive someone who want to talk about his favorite music on what kind of pizza he like to eat. You see, for me, it doesn't make any difference. I can receive an anonymous or I can receive Elon Musk. I will be the same. I will not change because there are some stars and we need to do that like this and go fuck yourself. No, I'm not like that. I'm I try to be straight. And for those who are interested in the case of Stephen Avery and Brendan Dassey, for now there is no news. We are waiting for the decision of the court uh, from about Kathleen Zellner appeals, but we need to, like always, we need to wait. So there is nothing new for now. So thank you to be here with me tonight. It was a pleasure. Again, I recommend you to subscribe to Mr. Drew Bison channel. It's my buddy and my one of my favorite show with BB Oha of Netherhan, Black Box Online Radio, coming to you from West Virginia. And yeah, subscribe to this channel. It's a great channel. Great channel. And please, if you want to understand more about Mr. Cheney, buy this book by Mr. Drew Bison and go show you. Go. Oh, yeah, it's a good gift for anyone. It's a great book, great book. Who put the finger on Cheney, and I'm sure he was involved, but not alone. Yeah. Oh, but welcome on the channel. Yeah, great book. Yeah, my favorite one. I was saying before that when I have read the first time the book, I was so happy. I was so happy that someone like Mr. Drew Besson, who had already read a book about D.B. Cooper, wrote a novel, wrote a book about the Zodiac, wrote, I mean, Mr. Besson is famous. Yeah. Yeah. And I'm proud of him. I'm really proud of him because he made really a good work. And oh, you missed the beginning, but you can come back, go back in time, restart the video, and you will see what I say. But yeah, that's true. That's a great book. And I was so happy that someone like Mr. Drew Beeson was a great friend of mine, like Ned, and who pointed the finger for the first time on Don Chaney. It was, whoa, a kind of relief for me because it was the point I was waiting for develop my theory because nobody have never talked about him unless Mr. Drew Bison talked about him in his book and why he think he's involved, and I'm sure he's right, but he was not alone. And I think, I just think I'm maybe right about my theory. But I can be wrong, and there is no problem with that. Okay? So, so thank you to everyone to have watched this video. I hope you have spent a good time. And if you, yeah, I would say like my friend Eric he was saying, if you don't have already done, please subscribe. And I'll see you